All right, everybody. On this episode of Find Meaning on the Run, I am here with Darrell and Tess. It's going to be a super quick episode. I stopped in Atlanta and I had to check in with the two of them. I've actually never seen Tess in person, so great to see your face in real life.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. Let's jump right in and both of you tell me your full name and what is it that you do.
I'm Darrell Patterson. What I do, I guess, vocationally, I work for the Federal Reserve as a financial statistician. But running, I just like to run, and I'm helping Tess put on a race.
So humble.
Yeah, I'm like, you
so
don't
humble.
just like to run. It's a lot more than that, but we'll leave
I like
it
to jog around my complex.
Winning marathons every now and then.
Well, I'm Tess Sobomihan Marshall, and on Facebook, Timmy Lola Sobomihan Marshall. And I'm a race director, running community leader, love to run. And I am going to be directing the first and inaugural race, The Race, which was a vision and dream spearheaded by Darrell Patterson. And our Atlanta community is super excited to take on this for the world, really.
So let's jump into that. How did you come up with this idea? How long had you been thinking about it?
I think it's an idea that spiraled from multiple conversations that have taken place over time. So the first thing I would say is probably Road Runners of Atlanta, the podcast. And that came about because there was a lot of complaints going on in the local Atlanta running community about us not being recognized in the more major publications. And so I thought well, why are we waiting on them to tell our own story? We should create a platform, build our own platform so that we can tell our own story and honor our own everyday runners. So that's kind of how the name came. It was a spinoff of Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Which I watched in preparation to come down here.
Nice.
No joke.
Sorry.
What is that by OLG?
It's not an accurate representation.
I'm kidding.
And that was, so we were doing a podcast for a while, meeting multiple leaders, including you, during the course. And what we noticed was that, the leaders were having the same sort of issues. It was a recurring theme. And we thought, let's get them all in the same room. So from Road Runners of Atlanta, the podcast, it went to the Unity panel. And then when we did the Unity panel, we said, we don't want this to be a one-time thing where all the leaders get together and we just have one conversation. Let's keep this conversation going. And that turned into the conference call. The conference call turned into the race.
Awesome. And how did you get roped in?
Well, I was a guest, one of the guests on Road Runners of Atlanta, the podcast, and Darrell would ask all of us at the end of the the interview, what do you think about the idea of putting on a race that we bring in all of our resources that we have, and when he asked me, I was like, I love it, let's do it, and then when we had the Unity panel, I was very honored to be a part of the panel, and I knew my place on the panel was really from my experience and passion for putting on races. I'm not a national running nerds, not a national running group, and we're very local. But I definitely have got my feet wet quite a bit in the Atlanta area and putting on races. And so, like he said, we continued our conversations after the panel. And I'm just one of those people. I don't like to talk about things too long.
Same.
So we kept talking about it, and I basically presented an idea to the panel on the phone, and I said, hey, if I put together a budget and show how that we can make this happen, what do you guys think? Would you let me, allow me to kind of do that? And had a direct conversation with Darrell and asked him, do I have your blessing to really take this on? And it pretty much went from there. So I think our real conversations, I would say, started around July.
Yeah.
We had a meeting in September where the first time that I kind of presented the whole idea, and it's morphed a little bit, but I don't think we've strayed too far away from our original idea. And then we kind of renamed ourselves the Unity Collective. So that was all of us that wanted to move forward with the idea of the race. And we shot the footage for our announcement video.
Yeah.
And then in November we launched the idea to the world. So.
And I want to talk about that launch because it's very familiar to me. I launched a campaign, Run for All Women, last year, and saw it take off. So what made you use crowdfunding for it, and what were your expectations around that?
Well, I did quite a bit of research on the whole crowdfunding idea, And I just thought it was a great way to validate the idea. I mean, it's one thing to open registration for a race. Like I have 3 races that are open for registration right now. But it's another thing to say, hey, this is something that we think is needed, wanted. Here's our idea. And, it was really fun kind of putting together the video and, having everyone kind of speak on, why they thought it was important. And I definitely give kudos to just the whole Kickstarter platform and the Kickstarter community, because they do support you quite a bit, and excuse me, and helping you get your message out. And it was a very authentic kind of grassroots way to put on a race. So,
how much did you raise?
So we ended up at about 73,000, which was a little over 650 individuals that made that number possible.
And that's in a month.
It was a month, 38 days I think was our
Amazing.
campaign total. Yeah. So, but I say that, but each one of those pledges represent people who want to run the race. So. It was amazing. I went through my nervous periods during the campaign where I was like, okay, do people want to do this? It was pretty steady, but we knew at the beginning there was a lot of hype at the beginning, and then we went through Christmas and New Year's and all that stuff, and it kind of leveled off, and then at the end, it was just a lot of fun. I thought I'm very grateful that the holidays kind of did fall right in the middle of all of it, because it gave me something to focus on.
Not refresh.
Yeah, exactly. Just once a day refreshing.
Right.
But in Darrell, I definitely let you speak your thoughts on this. But it was just really cool reaching out, meeting. We met so many people just through the campaign.
Yeah, definitely.
And a reason to kind of reach out. A lot of folks were talking about, you need to get this celebrity and that celebrity. But I was more excited about the runners that I had, seen, like people like you and, other podcasters, bloggers, runners, running communities, run groups. So that's probably the thing I'm most excited about for October, is meeting all of these different running groups and running entities that are going to come together for this one
in
race.
Real life.
Yes, it's going to be awesome.
Darrell, what can we expect from the race? What are participants going to look forward to?
I think you can expect a first-class event, and I think that's what we want to put forth more than anything. Yes, it's coming from our community, and yes, it is coming from people who are invested and have skin in the game in our running community. But more so than that, it's going to be a first-class event. So everything you see from other races, the gear is going to be top-notch, course is going to be amazing, support is going to be amazing. We're going to have the aid stations that you need. We're going to have an amazing expo, and we're really going to build a weekend around this. And then outside of that, we're going to have themes each year.
Each year. So we're talking about multiple years.
It's definitely multiple years. And the theme for this year is legacy. And what we wanted to do is every step we take, every element we add in, we think to ourselves, is this something that we can duplicate year after year? We don't want to have one huge hype race and then next year it kind of falls off. What can we really build on to make this something that people want to come back for every year, just like they will enter lotteries and pay exorbitant amount of monies to go to other events every single year.
And you are fully employed outside of this. You are recently married and host all these other races. How do you manage all of this stuff?
Teamwork.
Yeah. No, we have a great team. I'm very proud of, what I've been able to kind of build here in Atlanta.
Actually, yeah, can we talk about that? Talk about Running Nerds and how this became your full-time.
Yeah, so Running Nerds is, I guess I hate saying this. I always feel weird saying it, but it's my company.
Right.
But it just started off as a running passion project for me. I created a Facebook page. That's how all great businesses start, with a Facebook page.
I agree.
But yeah,
forget the business plan.
Yeah.
Just the Facebook.
Start a Facebook page, folks. You heard it here. And from there, I put on my first 5K in 2012, and then that led to another race, and that led to another race, and then that led to folks reaching out to me saying, hey, can you help me put on a race? And so here we are, 2018, and we have a full series of running events, races. I'm the race director for Girls on the Run here in Atlanta, and help out with some of the other kind of traveling races. So have a great relationship with Atlanta Track Club. They're a very big supporter. They're like our big brother, big sister organization here in Atlanta. So just to even have the confidence from the running community to be able to take this on, that's been an amazing honor. So, we definitely want to make sure, as Darrell said, that everything is top notch. But one thing that, we want to make sure that is clear, and we are wanting to be very clear, is that our goal with this race is to support Black-owned busices, neighborhoods, and charities. We have some amazing events here in Atlanta. We have one of the best marathons, about 4 or 5 different half marathons. Every traveling race comes through Atlanta. But this race is going to be unique because of who and where we're going to support and where we're going to run. So that's definitely going to be a big thing. And, using our resources, the vendors that we've built relationships with, even our start finish location is a Black-owned organization that has event space.
Awesome.
So, everything from, like you said, from the T-shirts to the medals to the course support, we want to make sure it's top notch, but also supportive of our community.
And what's the weekend? What's the date for this?
October 12th through the 15th.
Okay.
Yes.
I have to say that when Darrell first reached out, my first question was, is there a woman involved? I was like, I'm not a part of it. Is there a Black woman involved? And he was like, yes. And I was like, all right, I'll listen.
Not only is there a Black woman involved, but she is the forefront, the leader and the race director of the event.
Right. Dope. Yeah. That's awesome.
We have a great team of folks that are invested from part-time. My assistant race director, Shanta McMillan, so what we've been doing this week is packing up individual bags to send everyone their backer T-shirt.
Oh wow! So is that the shirt that you have? Which one is
this? This is the backer shirt.
Okay,
this
so I will post a link to this so that you can see this beautiful red, black, and green.
The back of the shirt has every backer's name.
Awesome.
So that those are the kinds of things that the behind the scenes things that a lot of people don't know. Printing up postage and making labels and making sure everyone has their codes and all that good stuff. So, it's a lot of fun. I have no complaints whatsoever.
Awesome. Yeah. And how did you, I'll start with you, Tess, how did you get into running?
So I started running, let me back up. I was a college and high school basketball coach. Okay. So I used to coach basketball. That was my sport. So my philosophy was there's no need to run more than a mile. As long as I can run a mile, I'm good. But as an adult, you can't just go to the gym and play 5 hours of pickup and get cardio. So I started picking up running. When I moved to Atlanta, I did a 5K, and I thought it was I moved all over the place. But I moved to Atlanta directly from Augusta.
Got it. Okay.
And my first day here, I did a 5K and thought it was really cool. I think I went on Facebook and I was like, hey, I just did a 5K, and 3 people liked it.
Shout out to those 3 people.
And then I got involved with Black Girls Run and became a running community leader through Black Girls Run. And really from there, every person that I know and I've met sparked from that, first group run that I went to. At Big Peach in Atlanta.
Your husband.
Including my husband, yes.
And it's their 1-year anniversary, so
yes,
happy anniversary.
Tomorrow. January 28th is our anniversary, and we met through a mutual friend that he works with and I run with.
Awesome.
And now he's a runner as well, so.
Very cool.
But yeah, so that's really where it started with just, wanting to make the decision to do something in my, I started running when I was 33, so one of those kind of late bloom runners, and I'm working on my 7th marathon right now, so. Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
And you, Darrell, how did you go from, normal guy to winner of marathons?
I was actually not normal guy. I'd say I was out of shape. I was about 55 pounds heavier than I am today. High blood pressure. You guys know the story. Family.
Right.
Pre-diabetic, high blood. So I had all of these negative things working against me through college. I was a heavy drinker. I used to smoke a lot. I just was just out of shape. And before my current job, I used to work for Regions, a business capital group, and the president of that group sponsored a race, which turned out to be Chip's race.
Really?
The inaugural MLK 5K, and I was the youngest and only Black person in the entire group. So he's like, "Hey, I want you to go run this race," and I was like, "All right." So I go out there. I've got on some Uptowns, basketball shorts. I've got on a hoodie. You know, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and do this thing. And so I'm running this 5K, which took me almost 40 minutes.
Wow.
And I remember the moment I was coming up a hill, and it was this woman.
It was at Lennox that first year, right?
It was at Lennox.
Yes.
It was Lennox Mall here in Atlanta. It was this woman running. We're going uphill. She was running up the hill, pushing a double stroller with 2 kids in the stroller. And she runs by me, and she looks over at me like, don't worry, just keep pushing. And I just said, you know what? No. Got to make a change in life. So I went from that to just trying to get in shape. And when I was trying to get in shape, I was doing everything, you know, lifting weights, jumping rope, running. But running just happened to stick. And once I started to enjoy running, then I'm one of those people that when I try something, I tend to go all the way with it. Like, I don't just read, like, one book. I have to read, like, every single thing that author published.
That in common. Intensity.
So yeah, and that's what happened with running. I was like, all right, I can run now. And it was the first thing was like, can I run 1 mile without stopping? Can I run 2 miles without stopping? Okay, now how fast can I run it? And so now I'm just in pursuit of seeing. I don't know what the limit is, but I definitely want to find it. I want to run that one race where like I pass out at the finish and I say that's it. Like I gave every single iota of what I have. I haven't done that yet.
Awesome. Well, this is going to be a quick episode, and
Yes.
I typically end with a question, but I'm going to switch up that question and ask each of you, what is one piece of advice for somebody who is looking to start something big? Whether that big thing is taking on the race or that big thing is making a lifestyle change, what is one piece of advice for somebody taking on something big or new in their life?
Well, I'll start with that because I asked myself this question so many times, and I've listened to a lot of different authors and podcasters and motivational, and the number one thing that you hear across the board is just start. So, you know, if you want to wait until everything is perfectly aligned, you'll never start. So just start, even if the start is, you know, a terrible Facebook posting, whatever it is, you know, so just start.
Okay. Start.
And I'd echo that, and I would add to it, not to neglect the baby step. You know, everything big in my life, from, you know, my marriage, my wife, it started with me saying hello. You know, a house starts with, you know, I'm gonna just click online and see what's available. So everything, you may not realize, you don't have to think big, like I'm gonna do this huge thing. Sometimes you just do something small, like I'm gonna go run through Harlem and ask a couple people to come with me. And you don't know it, that small thing one day becomes something big.
Yeah.
So do the small stuff.
Awesome. Do the small stuff. Just start. And I'll see you guys in October, I hope. I will drop a link for the
You
race.
guys see us before then. We're coming to New York.
That's true,
right.
yeah.
We're coming to
Great to
run in
meet you.
Harlem. Yes,
Thank you for
definitely.
letting me in your home.
Anytime.
Yeah, and we'll talk soon.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.